The way a lot of Sigma males look at this Israeli-Hamas war conflict that's going on over there is we think it's fucked up. Of course it's fucked up. No, we think it's fucked up. It's fucked up for two reasons. The first obvious upfront reason is there's a lot of death and destruction and pain and agony and grief going on both sides. On both sides. Mothers are grieving their lost kids. Fathers are grieving their families being taken from them. There's pain and death and destruction and agony that's happening on both sides. That's indisputable. That's the common denominator that we can never forget about. That's how Sigma males look at this. The common denominator is this is not how life is supposed to be. This is not how we want to be living. We all recognize this, right? We recognize this, right? This is not the life that we're supposed to be living, that we want to be living. And there's death and destruction, agony and pain on both sides. Now, the second part that's fucked up. Gotta smoke on this one. The second part that's fucked up, as Sigma males, at least some that have a little bit of some history of knowledge of the history of this whole bullshit, is that colonialism put this shit together. And for them to be more blunt and direct, certain powers, no, I'm not going to call them out by name, but what was promised to the Palestinian people during World War I was also promised to the international, a Jewish family, Jewish collective. That land, that area was promised to both of them during World War I. Go look up some history. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just saying I've read a few things. I'm welcome to read more things, keeping conspiracy theories out of this. But this is factual. You go look up, in World War I, certain things were offered to the Palestinians because they were under the rule of the Ottoman Empire. And certain things were offered to, the Jewish diaspora that was relatively scattered around the world, scattered around Europe. So in the depths of World War I, a promise was made to both people. Both people were promised that land, some autonomy, some space, some fucking peace in that land. Both people. And then, of course, shit in World War I happened. Millions of Jews were slaughtered because of the Nazi regime, yada, yada, yada. We should all know this. And then right after 1947, 48, Israel's launched. And immediately it's attacked because the whole premise of it was, essentially, how do you get to establish your statehood here and we still haven't established our statehood? The Middle East was carved up in a certain way after World War I, after the Ottoman Empire no longer controlled that area of the Middle East. It was carved up in a certain way for colonial purposes. And certain powers extremely benefited from that. They planned that shit. They made that shit happen. They carved the Middle East up in a certain way so that they would benefit. Fuck the people, fuck the culture, fuck the history. It's for the benefit of the colonizers. So that's the name I will give them. I'm not going to go there. But still keeping conspiracy theories out. So during World War I, that land was promised to both people. And then after World War II, it was given to one people. Now, recognize that the Jewish people and the different things that they've been through, they absolutely deserve to have peace. They absolutely deserve to have a homeland. That's indisputable to me. If you are a person of humanity, that's just indisputable. They deserve to have peace. Everyone deserves to have peace. They deserve to have a homeland. Everyone deserves to have a homeland. But so do the Palestinians. So do other people in the Middle East. And the problem is, because of the colonizers, Israel was founded and Israel was protected because it had to be. But what happened to the Palestinians? What happened to that promise? And so we still decades later are still talking about the issue of, can it be a one-state solution? Can it be a two-state solution? And it's like, no, we were promised by the colonizers, like they have the fucking right to promise anybody anything. Whole nother discussion. But they were promised by the colonizers, like, no, look, for our help in helping in this global conflict as World War I was. That was like the biggest thing ever until World War II. But in order to help beat the bad guys in World War I, in order to help you beat the bad guys because you need some help, then this is what you are promising to us. And so it was promised to both people, but only one people ever really got their statehood. And they've never been protected. So while the Jews deserve to have peace, absolutely deserve to have peace, and deserve to have their homeland, the colonizers were willing to help protect them. For various reasons, we're going to keep conspiracy theories and other shit out. The colonizers were willing to back up that promise. But with the Palestinians, they have continuously fucked them. So to me, the fucked up part that Sigma males see is this: the death and destruction is obvious on both sides. But what's not often known by the public is that essentially the Israeli Jews and the Palestinians of that area both got fucked. The colonizers used both of them. And in a certain way, they continue to use both of them because it benefits them to have them fight each other while they sit back and want to dictate terms and act like they're about peace. So, like I said, I really, this is not the type of video I normally put out, but I was thinking about this as a Sigma male, because Sigma males often, very, very often, we side with who's being bullied. We don't really like bullies. We don't really like people who try to oppress other people or impress upon other people in a violent way or in a malicious way their views and how they want to act and what. We don't really like that. We just have a tendency to either want to support the person that's being bullied or want to see that bully get theirs. That's just normally how we are. Most Sigma males, that's normally how we are. So that's why we're normally not bullies. And that's why normally we're friends with a lot of different people, because we can see the different people in society that have been bullied, been oppressed, whose humanity has been ignored. Like they don't fucking matter. Sigma males, we don't like that shit. We see you. We see you. You know what I'm saying? We generally don't judge. We see you. You know what I'm saying? In whatever ways you're different and in whatever ways, you know, you do what you do, it has value because you're fucking human. We're all fucking human, right? So we have a tendency to see the side of who's being bullied. But here's the fucked up part of this. Who's been bullied? There's few people that can say they've been bullied more than the fucking Jews. Jewish people have been bullied and harassed and oppressed and chased for like 2,000 years. Conspiracy theories aside, we're leaving all that alone. The facts are, they've been scattered for like 2,000 years. So who can really talk more about being bullied than, you know, the Jewish people? But then, like I say, in this whole conflict that we're currently discussing, the Palestinians have been fucked over. How long are you going to be quiet and be pacifist when you've been fucked over? You think they're just, after a certain amount of time, be like, yeah, we're good now. You can have your shit back. No, that never happens. Ask, okay, I'm not even going to go there. I was going to go to something else. So the point is I was thinking of this as a Sigma, and I was thinking like the death and destruction is fucked up. That's undeniable. Both sides. Like, this is God's children. These are God's children. What the fuck? But the other side of the coin, the double-sworded, the double side of the sword, or whatever the term is, you know what I'm saying? The other side of the sharp sword is that this has been set up. Both people were promised that land without the real thought, without the real intent, without the real structure to incorporate peacefully both of them. So they've both been bullied. They've both been fucked over. One side's been protected, the other side's been vilified. They've both been vilified. And it's all fucked up while someone else, another entity, sits back and says, oh, cheerio. Fucked up, ain't it? So, whatever. So, that's what I'm saying. If you are a Sigma male, if you think like a Sigma male, if you know people who are Sigma males, tell me how they think about this. Like, you can point fingers at both sides. That's usually how war and conflict goes. You take, hell, Thanksgiving dinner. How many people sat down from other people that God's children, but you arguing your viewpoint righteously, across the table? And what progress does it really, really make if you just stay at the argumentative, punitive, I'll fucking kill you and your family stage? Like, how can you ever really make progress when you know that people and their relatives are going to come back at you? That won't end. But when someone sets that shit up, you know what I'm saying? When someone on purpose instigates and pits you against someone else, you got to really think about who's doing that shit, how they benefit from that, what their mindset is. Because that is always the true enemy. I'm sure people have seen those different little cartoons where it's like one person's coming up with like pulling out rabbit ears from their pants, like they ain't got shit in their pants, they're pulling the pockets out of their pants. And someone else walks up like, I ain't got shit either. And they've been told that the other person took their shit. Each of them believes that the other person took their shit. Meanwhile, in the background, somebody else got everybody's shit. So Sigma males often look at this shit like we got an answer. I'm not saying we got an answer. It might just be that only God's got an answer if you believe in God, like that, some type of entity like that. But the bottom line is this whole fucked up shit was purposely put together. And it was purposely put together in the fact that one entity, an assembly of influential people said, hey, you help us, we'll help you. And in reality, they only ever really helped one side. And now that other side is pissed because they've continued to be oppressed. Their oppression has never ended. But the side that was protected, they've been bullied for 2,000 years. And they are continually under threat right now. So they have the full right to protect themselves. The full right to protect themselves, as everybody does. But what do you say to the other side that's like, hey, dog, we never got our state. We never got our protection. So, God help us. So, it is what it is. But tell me if you conspiracy theories out of this. And keep it positive. Keep it, about humanity and not about death and destruction. But, tell me if you're a Sigma male or whatever, tell me what you think. I'm out.